Hello and welcome to How to Sell Your House in Today's Market. My name is Mike Stover. This workshop is in two parts, so make sure you watch both. I'm the president and CEO of Emerald Real Estate Group. I've been teaching workshops for over 25 years and I have been involved with thousands of real estate transactions. I teach these workshops because I've watched so many sellers lose money and get taken advantage of. As I always say, you don't know what you don't know. Well, enough is enough. I'm going to teach you what you need to know starting right now. This workshop is for everyone, whether you're selling your house for the first or the fifth time, or you're selling it by yourself, called a for sale by owner, looking to learn more, or a seller that had or may have a house currently off the market and you'd like some answers as to why it isn't selling or it didn't sell. I believe my job and the job of every real estate broker is to educate sellers and buyers on how to sell or buy a house successfully in today's market or any market. It doesn't matter where you live, whether it's here in Washington State, New York, Texas, the workshop is for sellers anywhere. It's based on years of experience, current and past. My goal is to provide pertinent information so you'll be able to make decisions based on facts, not hearsay. I'm not here to sell you anything. This workshop is about education, not solicitation. And when I'm finished with the workshop, you'll be able to set your expectation bar high with whomever you decide to work with. Now joining me is Jesse Stover, a 7-year real estate professional and our company audio and video technician. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to be covering. What's your why? 3 things to do before listing a house, hiring a realtor, or sell it yourself. Steps to listing a house, who's all involved in a sale, current market, and who's your competition. That's going to be the first part. So here we go. What's your why? There are 3 things to do before listing. Okay, so let's talk about that. Why are you selling your home? I want to say this to you. Every single seller situation is different. I very rarely run into the same seller who's saying the same thing as the next seller. So that's very important. And so why are you selling? Maybe get a larger home, you're moving out of the area, the state, you're downsizing, you're an investor, you want to sell, to reinvest, recoup your, take your money out now, you're retiring. This might be an estate sale, or you're selling to take advantage of the equity. Now here's what I want to share with you. You can see it right here. When a realtor knows your why, you not only can sell your house, but you're going to maximize your profit. Because every single seller, we all, myself included, how much money am I going to make? So there are 3 things you should do before you list your house. What do you think they are? Think about it. I've never had anyone ever answer this question correctly. So the first thing you should do is talk to your financial planner. Talk to a financial planner, tax preparer, your banker or your loan officer who you've worked with, and possibly a real estate attorney. Now there's many reasons why. See, everybody is in a different stage of their life. If you're in the early stages of your life, you might be selling to be able to take the money, roll it into a bigger home. If you're in my age group, the golden years as they would say, you're looking at this entirely differently. How do we make our money work and last through retirement? There's all these type of things that need to be taken into consideration. And these people I just pointed out to you, a financial planner, a tax preparer, your loan officer, and a real estate attorney, they're going to be able to help you. So please, it's really, really important that if you're thinking about selling or you're in the midst of selling, whatever, that you really reach out to these people and talk to them about your situation. It could make the sale of your home go much easier. Now, fears and concerns, questions. So first of all, maybe you're afraid to sell your house because you're hearing that inventory is low and interest rates are high. Or can I sell and buy at the same time? That's called a contingent offer. Is this a good time of year to sell my house? I have a low interest rate right now. Can someone assume my mortgage and pay me my equity? And get that good rate? Should I wait for interest rates to come down? Well, this is real. I hear these questions all the time. And I hope I'll be able to answer a lot of them. So I'm afraid to sell my house if the inventory is low. I understand that. But interest rates are high. There's a lot of sellers that are waiting. But there are sellers that are selling right now because they have to. They're moving on because of their job. They're getting maybe you're in the military and you're being given orders. They call it PCSing into another station, duty station. There's many reasons why people are selling, and there are homes out there, even with interest rates high. Can I sell and buy at the same time? Yes. Different markets will depend on how receptive a seller is to that, but I'll be showing you on how to get your house prepared correctly to make it really look good, so that if you do want to do a contingent offer, you have a very good chance that a seller would accept your offer based on a contingency of you selling yours first. Is this a good time to sell my house? Anytime is a good time to sell. Let me answer that right now. Anytime, if it's done properly. And I have a low interest rate. Can someone assume my mortgage? Well, there's some things you're going to need to do. One of them is you need to talk to I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but you need to talk to the servicer of your loan and see if they would allow it. If they do, you can ask for an assumption package that they should provide for you. We could get really deep with that. But should I wait for interest rates to come down? No, you can, but you don't have to. And there's many reasons for that. So those are some of the fears, questions I get. Now the other one is, should I hire a realtor or should I sell it myself? Let's talk about it. So most important thing you can do, and I'm going to say this to you and I hope you hear me, is hire a competent, experienced real estate agent. This could be one of the biggest assets in your life is your house, and you don't need someone who doesn't sell homes or work with buyers and sellers equally representing you. And it's got to work. The chemistry between you and the agent has to work. It can make or break your transaction. Now, here's just a few experiences that I've had with dealing with sellers agents, and this is happening all the time. Number one, the listing of your house is incomplete. And when I do talk to the agent, I'm representing a buyer and I'm talking to an agent trying to get information, the lack of property knowledge, whether it be setback lines, whether it be, the what, everything. You can imagine I'm asking, like, why has the house been on the market for so long? What about this? What about that? And the agents, they're clueless. There, I just said it. They're clueless. Not being transparent. I'm going to be making an offer. I call your agent and I ask them, do you have any offers on the table? They go, yes. I said, can you tell me what you've got? And they go, well, I can't do that. Well, typically you, the seller or potential seller, set commissions. So what happens is you're actually paying my company. I'm representing the buyer and you're paying my company for me to do my job with the buyer. And your agent's job is to get as much money out of the transaction for you as they can. So why wouldn't they tell me what you have on the table so they might be able to get some more if my client is interested in bidding up the house? I don't know, but I run into this all the time. And here's how unprofessional this looks. All of a sudden, I put an offer in. I don't know. I'm making an offer blindly, and I get this text, no phone call, but a text saying, "I'm sorry, the seller has accepted another offer." I turn around to the buyer and I say, "I'm sorry you didn't get it." And they go, "Do you know why?" And here I am, a 30-plus year professional. I go, "I don't know." Now, I have to tell you what that does to our industry. It's bad. And I hope you take this into consideration, because when I list a house myself, I put right in the notes, my seller has given me permission to be totally transparent. And I'm very successful at selling houses because it's about relationship building and communication. I'm not talking about giving your interest or very private things away. I'm talking about everybody feels good about it. So, lack of communication or too much information. I have listened to listing agents tell me exactly why you're selling, and I'm just marking it down because I'm going to use it against you when I negotiate. It's like if sellers knew what their agents were saying or weren't saying, they'd be fired in a second. In a second, I get off the phone going, I can't believe this whatsoever. So remember, it's not the company or the company name that's going to sell your house. I get people going, "Oh, I'm going with this company because they're well known." That company never sold a house. It's the person you hire that's going to sell your house. And I think that's important. I ran off a little bit on that, went off on a couple tangents, but I think it's important that you know this. The next thing is you need to have interview questions. Now, I can read every one of these interview questions, but we're talking about asking them how long when you're interviewing an agent, and you should interview, how long have you been selling? How many houses have you sold? Are you full or part-time? I'm not going to read them all. How about the one? How will you be communicating with us? Because there's some of these listing agents that have teams. So you met the lead. Now all of a sudden you're going to deal with the third agent down the string throughout your transaction. Who's going to be communicating with you? These are really important questions. If you'd like these, let me know. Happy to send them over to you. And here, let's keep going. Do you have referrals I can contact? Tell me about the current market. What can I expect? Tell me how you negotiate. That's a great question. Tell me how you negotiate with buyers and their agents. Go ahead and take a second here. I like the last one. It's a little cut off there, but it says how much money you're going to make. Tell me about the new changes in real estate. Let's see if they're up to date with it. How much is it going to cost me to hire you? What's this going to cost? I think it's important.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of this process, when you're hiring an agent, there needs to be full transparency. You guys need to be able to set the bar of how you're going to move forward and communicate. When are you guys checking in? Are you guys? Your why is so important, because at the end of the day, it gives the agent that you've hired the ability to communicate in a way with potential buyers in order to move that house. And we'll talk later about how you set the price and how you move forward. But depending on your time frame and where you're trying to get and what you're trying to do, a lot of this is you interviewing them and vice versa to make sure that will collaboratively work. So when you get down to crunch time, you're not like, oh my God, oh, what's going on? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So this is important stuff.
Absolutely. And it keeps going on here. So why all the questions, it says? Well, first of all, how many real estate transactions does a real estate agent normally do nationally? Okay. And the answer for that is somewhere between 3 to 6. Now, I heard, whether it's the truth or not, in the past year, 70% of all the agents didn't even do one transaction because of the market. Now, this is what I'm giving you, all right? And the thing of it is, what does it take to become a real estate agent in the state of Washington? Let me explain this to you, that all it takes is, if you want to be a real estate agent, go to Rockwell. They're one of the educators. What you do is you pay, I think it's about $500. You put in 90 hours of study, and then you take a test for the state. I think it's $150 maybe in there, and now you can get a real estate license. There you go. To represent someone's largest investment, one of their large investment or an asset. In our industry, it used to be a 70-30 rule. 30% of the people did 70% of the work. Then it went to 80-20. And in this market now, it's a 90-10 rule. And there's two important words that I want you to remember. No one is holding you hostage once you sign your paperwork to do a listing. And those two words, if you're not getting what you want and it's just not working for you, you can let your agent go, and you can just simply, you're fired, and end it. Because this is your money. It's your house. You're in control. They're there to do their job. And you need to know that. And you should expect it. Good communication, get the job done, get the house sold, and get you on to wherever you're going. Next, for sale by owners. Selling a house on your own, let's talk about it. For sale by owners have, people selling their homes on their own are called a for sale by owner. And they have shared things with me over the years, just talking. One of them, difficulty was pricing a home. I've asked them, how do you do it? And they said, well, we've gone to, neighbors. So their house is a rambler, but they're comparing their house to a two-story or a split level, or they're comparing it to new construction that's going around the corner.
Or they'll go straight to Zillow or Redfin and just take the estimate right off there.
I'm going to talk about that down here too, Jess. It's really interesting. But pricing a home, they've had difficulties with that. Or they promenade agents through the house as if they're going to hire them to get statistical information, trying to figure it out. Then, the do's and don'ts of getting a house ready for sale. It's amazing at how many people think that they have to revamp their whole house when they don't. They're self-diagnosing what they need to do because they don't know. Advertising. How are you going to advertise? The ability to answer the phone. Now, this is the biggest one that I deal with. If Mike buyer says, Mike, I saw a for sale by owner. Would you look into it? I call, I text, I try to get a hold of them. and they're ghosting me. It's one of the things that is really important that I can share that with you, because it's like I'm frustrated. How you want to sell your house on your own, but you're not there to answer the phone? Now, some of you might be laughing about this, but buyers are serious, and there's just so many that are going to buy with interest rates being where they are right now. So we want to make sure that you as a seller understand you've got to put your best foot forward. Negotiation. For sale by owners can't negotiate. I've had people say, well, I've sold my house on my own before. Well, how'd that work for you? It might have went really well. But boy, I'll tell you, I hope you're still good at it. You know, legal forms that are necessary to sell a house. Title insurance. Do you know what that is? Escrow. Now, you might think that I'm doing it this way to sway you away from doing it on your own. I'm not. I want you to be aware. I want you to be totally transparent of what you'd be getting yourself into. All right? Now, how about the forms? All these forms are labeled. I'm not going to go through them here, but do you know what they are? Do you know how to execute them? Do you know what the seller's disclosure is, which is a state required form, whether you're selling it on your own or working with a real estate agent? And these innocent mistakes that are made, that's what leads into litigation. I just thought I'd tell you that. Now, let's do a quick recap. Do you have the time? Can you negotiate? Do you know what the best offer is? And that's important. Or, oh, here we go. Or you say, you know what? I'm going to work with a discount listing firm. They're out there. But what do they do? What do they read this right here? What they do and don't do for you. All right? Basically, they're just going to put your house on the market. They're not going to answer the calls. They're not going to do any of that. And the more they do for you, the more they charge. So why not use a full service real estate agency to do the job? There's nothing for free. And anyone who's willing to discount their professional services, let me tell you, you're going to make up for it. Let me guarantee you that. Okay, let's go on here. Steps to listing a house and who's involved in a sale. This is good. So this is quick. Take a look at this. You're going to interview and hire an agent. If you're going to go that way, you're going to determine a sales price with them, determine commissions. The listing documents are going to be signed. You're going to get the property ready to sell. The house is going to be listed in the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. If it's here, there's listing services all over the United States. And then your house is active and on the market. Now, who's going to be involved in your transaction? Well, you're the seller, of course. You're going to have your agent. And if you don't have an agent, it's going to be you. All right. But if you have an agent, the agent works for a brokerage. And there's going to be an inspector and an appraiser and a title company and an escrow company, possibly an attorney involved. And then on the buyer's side, you can look at that. These are the people that they are going to be working with, and they're going to cross over to work with you also. And there's many, many more. But you need to be aware of this. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And your agent and you need to know what is happening at all times. Current market and who's your competition? Well, current market. Let's talk about this. First of all, you've got a buyer's market, a seller's market, and a neutral market. Okay? Now, you can look off to the side here. Here's what a buyer's market is. When there is more than 6 months of inventory on the market, and that's based on closed sales. So when we have 6 months or more of inventory, that is a buyer's market. Sellers are doing everything they can to sell. A seller's market is less than 3 months of inventory based on closed sale. And as you can see, a neutral market is 3 to 6 months of inventory based on closed sales. So what have we got right now? Well, I thought I'd share this with you. This is through Trend Graphics, CoreLogics, and this gives you an idea. If you look, this on the left are the months of inventory from 0 all the way up to 3. I just did it there. I cut it off at that. And then underneath, you've got the month and the year. So right now, and we're always a month behind, a month or two behind, but right now, as of January of 2024, we had about what? Let's see, 2.1, between 2 to 2.1 months worth of inventory. So what would that tell you? All right, it's a seller's market. But because interest rates are so high, houses are staying on the market longer. So really right now, even though we don't have a lot of inventory and there are tens of thousands of buyers sitting on the fence, what's happening is that the market is not moving as quickly as it normally would. It's really kind of like a neutral. It's between a seller's and a neutral market right now. So I thought I'd share that with you. But this is important data so that you are aware of what's actually going on. And by the way, if any of you would like to like this information anytime, no strings attached, give us a text or a call, let us know. Really important, we're here for you. Next, when's the best time of year to list and sell my house? Anytime. If your house is in good condition, it's priced right, a good location, and you've done all the things that I'm sharing with you on this workshop, I'm telling you, your house is going to sell. I sell lots of houses, and this is what I do. I'm going to say preaching to you, what I'm sharing with you is exactly what I do with sellers, and we go through it. But remember, not all sellers are the same. So I adapt, we change, we move. This is very important. Okay, any time of year. Now, I think this is one of the failures that go on in real estate. Who are you competing against? Are you competing against new construction sites? Are you competing against other homes like yours, resale, for sale by owners, short sales, foreclosures, bank owns? We don't have a lot of those on the market right now. There are some, but there's not an abundance like there was back in 2010 and 11. So I would suggest this. Go with your agent, go out with your agent and tour houses that your house is going to be competing against. That way it gives you a really good sense of what's going on and what you might need to do to be more competitive or change to be more competitive. There's just so much. I could go on and on here. Hopefully that helps you there. Now, where do you search? A lot of times I'll talk to people and they go, well, I'm thinking about selling my home, and I went to Zillow and Redfin and realtor.com, and they're telling me my house is about like here, but I think my house is worth more. Or sometimes I hear, or less. I couldn't believe what they were telling me. Here's what I'm going to share with you. If you look at the fine print, is that information you're getting through these companies, and they're nice companies, don't get me wrong, but is it accurate? And they tell you in the disclaimer, they can be off. They can be anywhere from 5, 10, 15, 20% off, high or low. Now, the other thing is that when you are utilizing these sites, even real estate company websites, what happens is you have a URL address and they're tracking you. And if you're wondering why you're getting all this solicitation, that is why. So you can go into these sites, but the more information you give them, the more that they're looking at that. And now with AI that's out there, watch out. Just be very, very careful. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you the truth. So there's an app out there that works with the multiple listing service. It's called the Home Spotter. It's called Home Spotter. And I put down Home Spotter house search app. I just typed that in there. But if you like that with no strings attached, if you let us know, we'll send you out the app and you can go along. If you see a house, you can point your phone, Jesse, right towards the house. Yeah. It'll tell you all the information about it. You can see what's going on in your area without having a salesperson hounding you, pressuring you to do something. So
and all the stuff that we talk about today, along with HomeSpotter, our digital business cards will be down below in the link, and HomeSpotter will be down there too. So feel free to download it. It won't give you estimates like what a Zillow or a Redfin does, but again, those estimates are exactly that. They don't know the condition of your house. They're pulling that from a tax assessment, previous sales in the neighborhood. They kind of just take it to give it to you, and that's what it is. Your best bet is once you do hire an agent and you get out there, you got to lay eyes on it. You got to see it in person because there could be work that needs to be done. And those estimates don't take into consideration what condition the home is in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good points right there, Jess. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. So again, now I'm going to talk about something to finish this section up, this part one up. I want to share something with you called Homes for Heroes. This is something that's very near and dear to me. It's a great program. It's for our military, police, fire, healthcare providers, and teachers. If you're selling a home or you're buying a home and you're in the hero category, stop and look into this program. You can go to herosavings.org and it'll give you information about it. It's an incredible program to where we realtor affiliates that are associated with Homes for Heroes, we give back. And we educate first and then we give back. But this program, if you work in any of those industries that support our heroes, by all means, look into this program. It's called Homes for Heroes. It's nationwide. I've been involved with it since 2012, and I'm not going anywhere. It is wonderful. So it's herosavings.org. Now, with that said, Jesse said it below. Listen, if you're getting something out of it and you like it, would you do me a favor? Would you go down and click like? And would you also, if you'd like, subscribe? And the reason for it, it gets our numbers up. We want more people to hear this. It's free. There's nothing to buy here. So by all means, you can follow us. We update these workshops throughout the year, and we change them. We just don't leave them up there. What we do is we keep them current. And if you are needing maybe a neutral third-party opinion, you need some help, feel free to reach out to us. That's what we're doing this for, is to give back. And plus, it lets people know we're here. And we always tell people, if you like what you're hearing, by all means, let us know. We'd love to give you a free market analysis, talk with you, and we'd love to apply for the job. How's that? I mean, let's tell you this. Yes, we want you to get this. Use whomever you'd like, but love to interview. That's what we do. So with that said, this is part 1. We look forward to you joining us on part 2, and have a great day.